Won't you leave me?
91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Jorma Kaukonen, Reno Road is the name of the album we just heard. Don't You Leave Me Here. And let's get today's guest on the phone. Jorma, you with me?
I certainly am.
Wonderful. How cool was that hearing you on the phone, on the radio there?
I sounded like me, only younger.
Just a few years, that's all. I just want to do a brief intro, not that you really need it, but I always love doing this. I'm
By the
going
way,
to start off by saying music legend, a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and a Grammy nominee, as well as one of Rolling Stone's top 100 guitarists of all time. He is a founding member of two legendary bands, Jefferson Airplane and Hot Tuna, and he's recognized as one of the leading practitioners and teachers of fingerstyle guitar. Jorma Kaukonen's career has spanned 6 decades. He is one of the most highly respected interpreters of American roots music, blues, and Americana, with a history that influenced popular rock and roll. Jorma, along with his friend John Hurlbut, will be performing 2 nights at Bearsville Theater in Woodstock on June 13th and 14th. He'll also be at the Hudson River Music Festival at Croton Point Park on June 14th, and Acoustic Hot Tuna will also be back here at the Bardavon in Poughkeepsie on October 29th. And it's always a true honor to host you. A warm welcome back to LocalMotion, Jorma Kaukonen.
hey, thanks. It's great to be hosted. Great to talk to you, Rita.
Yeah, really nice to have you back too. And boy, you've been keeping busy by all accounts of social media.
I have. Yeah, I'm a busy beaver. My lovely wife Vanessa makes sure that there's no grass growing under my feet.
There isn't. Tell us about the new rock house, the new four-piece rock house.
So we moved to town, and I use the term loosely because we're actually on the hill overlooking the town in Athens when we sold the Fur Piece Ranch property down in Meigs, and we lucked into another piece of property, maybe a quarter of a mile right down the road from where we live. It's on 5 acres of land, and then that's our new mothership. We've got all our memorabilia there. Vanessa's got her office, and our whole team. They used to, except for the performance space, we've got all the office space and the merchandising space that we had down at the ranch, only now it's in Athens.
Wow. That's really cool. That's good. That was a good find.
Yeah, totally lucked into that one.
Yeah. And you've been doing workshops there and stuff.
We have been doing live workshops there also. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. Wow. That's really nice. I'm glad you guys found that spot. And of course, Vanessa's got this really cool boutique, this River of Time store.
Yep, she sure does. And I could be going out on a limb here, but I believe she's listening to your program right now by some newfangled
Internet.
Online. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, internet.
Hi, Vanessa. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for setting this up as always. Yeah, great. So, man, there's just been so much going on in the world. It's crazy. We've also lost some amazing musicians. I know you knew Joe Louis Walker and Jill Sobule also. Yeah.
Yeah, I met Joe Louis when he was, back in the 60s when he was a young teenager. We've been friends for a long time. Yeah, I'll miss him. We always talked about getting together, but we're always too busy. We'll get together someday, not too soon, I hope.
Yeah, not too soon, I hope either. Yeah, he was such a great guy. And, I've had him on the show here a couple of times, and he would talk about his San Francisco days and just like all the people he met back then and knew back then. And yeah, he was a treasure, that's for sure. And yeah.
Yeah, he was a Western Addition kid for real.
Yeah. And he was just like, he knew what he was doing with the blues, that's for sure.
Oh, no question about that.
Yeah. And then Jill Sobule also. She was just recently here in the Hudson Valley, and
another dear friend. Yes, tragic.
Yeah. So tragic. So yeah. So you've got shows like when people are looking at your website, and the big news I think Vanessa just posted yesterday, of course, is because you practice, you're going back to Carnegie Hall and
Right, yeah, we are.
doing a few more shows to celebrate your 85th birthday.
Well,
Damn.
we certainly are. And I do not use the term we loosely because I've got a lot of friends that are going to help out on this one.
I can't wait to. Are you going to announce it before, or are they just going to show up on stages?
You know something? That's a good question. We're not announcing anything now, and I guess it remains to be seen. It depends on how the venue wants to handle this thing.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. And so far, you have 4 shows that are scheduled for your 85th birthday, starting November 1st in Washington, D.C.
Right.
You also have November 29th, which is Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend at Carnegie Hall. And then December 5th, you're going back to where it started. Well, it kind of all started for you, San Francisco. And December 13th in Denver. Now, those shows, I know pre-sale went on because I'm seeing people post about, I got my tickets today. So I think the pre-sales are in full swing, at least for Carnegie Hall.
Yeah, so I noticed that Vanessa just fired me a text, and it says that we're going to announce in the months to come.
Who some of the special guests are?
Yeah, hang on a sec. Let me. Well, we'll just keep on talking. I'll blunder around my computer and see what. Okay, here's what it says. It says we'll announce in the coming months, and then the next one says lots of guests at every show.
Awesome.
So now you know what I do.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, that's pretty cool. I can only imagine some of these guests and how cool this is going to be. I remember your burgers show. Honestly, still one of my favorite shows at Carnegie Hall. And
That's dandy.
That was such a good one. And I think you did burgers either the first or the second set, and then one of the other sets you just like played some great old music that you guys don't normally play. You and Hot Tuna, and of course Larry and Teresa were there.
Yeah, Larry was channeling Papa John for most of that evening with his fiddle.
Yeah. No, that was really, 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 really amazing, that show. I don't think I'll ever forget it. Just the atmosphere, and everybody was so stoked, and just that stage was amazing. And
it was a dandy.
Yeah. And you're going back. Now, tell me, Airplane played at Carnegie Hall, didn't they?
No, my memory's a fragile animal these days, but I don't think the Airplane played there, but Hot Tuna did. And we were so loud, and our audience was younger then and more inclined towards, younger audience behavior, that the Carnegie Hall people at the time said that they would never allow us to come back. But I guess enough time has elapsed, and everybody's a lot older, so I'm sure they won't be, misbehaving by modern standards.
Yeah, no. I think everybody was very well behaved at the last Carnegie Hall show.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been better.
Yeah. No, some good stuff there. So, yeah. So, I just like our conversations to go organically. So, just and that's what I do. I don't have like questions to ask. I just like start talking with you, and it's just so easy. I've been enjoying Reno Road. I think the last time I may have seen you was at here we go, the brain, Capitol Theater. And
really, I thought the last time was that outdoor show,
July Jam. That was July Jam.
The July Jam, yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't there Capitol Theater after that? Oh no, wait, no.
I'd hate to bet I'm not saying you're wrong.
Right.
Because you know how the memory is.
Yeah, man, you're not kidding. I'm there with you. I'm a little bit younger, but my brain is equally there.
I understand. It's a fragile beast.
Whew, you're not kidding. But I think I did see you because I thought I brought my cousin to Capitol Theater, and I think I did. And anyway, I've been listening to Reno Road, and such a great album. Tell us the story of that. And most anybody that is a fan of yours knows it, but it's really cool how Jack found that. So talk to us about it.
So it was in 1960, and I was probably, it was towards the end of my 19th year, I'd been working in New York on one of these Antioch College co-op jobs. I was at the Rusk Institute for Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation at 400 East 34th Street, and I was working as an attendant, emptying bedpans, making beds, stuff like that. During the day, and the rest of the time, because I just started to play fingerstyle guitar, and by the time that I left New York, I'd really only been playing the kind of guitar that sort of defined my life for maybe 4 months. I'd have to hate to bet the farm, but certainly not more than that. And my family was still stationed in the Philippines, and I was going back to spend a year with them, to go to school there for a year. And on my way there, I stopped by D.C., which is my hometown, to drop some stuff off at my grandparents' place, and I stopped by to see Jack. And Jack, famously asked me, "What have you been up to?" And back in those days, no matter what I was doing, I'd never go anywhere without my guitar. And I said, "Let me show you." And I went out to the car and grabbed my guitar, and I came back in, and Jack had this, I was going to say old Wallensack tape recorder, but back then it was a new Wallensack tape recorder. And he we were down in his dad's rec room, and I just started playing. He started taping. Now, we call it Reno Road because Jack's family house back then was on Reno Road. And even though I still remember the address, I'm not going to say it so people don't just stop by and go, "Wow, is this the place that Jack Cassidy used to live?" But anyway,
right.
So yeah, they were on Reno Road, and he just rolled the tape, and then one thing led to another. I went away and spent a year in the Philippines, and then came back and wound up in Santa Clara. So I mean, in Northern California, the South Bay region, and all that stuff that everybody knows about because of Garcia and the whole gang that came of age back then, and I just totally forgot about this thing, and within the moderately finite past, Jack refound it again.
Amazing.
And our buddy Rick Sanchez out there in Southern California, who's an audio engineer, made sure that he got a complete pass of the tape and digitized it, and as a result, we got the album out, which is really cool because those old tapes don't weather very well, and none of us back in those days were buying expensive tapes.
Right.
I remember Shamrock was like the Radio Shack. I'm not sure Radio Shack existed back then, but it was like the budget brand. That's kind of what we all bought. But anyway, so we got enough of the tape out to digitize it, and now to live a lot longer.
Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing that Jack kept it, didn't throw it out, just like had the wherewithal. I wonder what else he's got up his sleeve.
Well, that's a good question. And the answer is, I guess when the moment's right, we'll find out. I mean, like all of us, listen, Jack is he tends to overthink everything, so he probably knows where everything is. But I wouldn't be surprised if he had some stuff squirreled away that even he doesn't remember to go, "Wow, look at this."
Yeah. No, because that was a nice find, and the album was done so beautifully, and I love that you put it out on vinyl.
Yeah, well, we all love vinyl these days. So anytime we do one of these little projects, we love it when the record, the release company gets on board and says, "Yeah, we'll do vinyl."
Yeah, which you also, of course, did with the infamous Janis Joplin typewriter tapes.
Correctamundo.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, my daughter bought me that for Christmas, so she knows how much.
What a thoughtful lass.
Yeah, so she knows how much of a fan I am, and I didn't have that on vinyl, and she bought that for me. So that was a cool thing. Now, you were just talking about not giving out Jack's childhood home address other than Reno Road. Cool, I totally get that. But you guys at Jefferson Airplane all lived communally in a mansion, and I think most everybody knows that, that was the old Airplane house, right? I mean, isn't...
Right, correct.
Yeah. Have you driven by it any time since you've been out there?
Actually, funny thing about that, there's a lady there that owns it now that's an old friend of mine, whose ex-husband used to own this coffee shop, The Shelter, that I used to play at in San Jose before I got in the airplane.
Wow.
So not only have I been by it within the last couple of years, it was right before COVID. I've been there since COVID, but she maintained. You know, it has a beautiful Tiffany stained glass window and a lot of stuff. She maintained all the architectural stuff that was there when the airplane owned it. It's awesome, actually.
Wow. Wow, what a great thing. Yeah. Do people stop by there and just be like photos like they do on
You know
Haight
something?
Ashbury with the dead house there?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that it's on Fulton Street, and I think that it's one of those things that the tour guides talk about when they roll around through neighborhoods with
The big
one
bus.
of these like fake cable cars with a loudspeaker on the outside.
Yeah, yeah. Because Hendrix was. Did you know Hendrix, by the way? He was out there too.
As in Jimi Hendrix?
Yes, yes.
I mean, we had certainly met, but Jack knew him better than I did. They hung out a little bit together, but yeah, the simple answer is yes.
Wow. What'd you think when you saw him play?
Well, of course, the first time that I saw him play was at Monterey, and that's actually the first time I met him. And that kind of guitar pyrotechnics, we all know like Teenage Kids could do that stuff today, but back in those days, I don't think anybody had ever seen anything like it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. Did you
I mean,
guys?
it certainly opened the door to a lot of fun stuff for young guitar players.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Did you see him at Woodstock also?
I did not see him at Woodstock. You know, for the Woodstock thing, we drove in for our show, which, as everybody knows, was like almost 24 hours late. Then afterwards, we had to drive to New York to do a TV show.
Wow.
So
How'd you get out of there?
I did see Santana,
Oh,
who was on before us, and that's what an amazing show that was.
wow, wow. I can imagine. How the hell did you get out of Woodstock, the grounds itself, to get to New York? I thought it was like nobody could get in and out unless by helicopter.
Well, there was a lot of back roads, and we drove in on the back roads. When we drove in, there were no cars there. It was like just little country roads, unpaved roads. When we drove out, of course, there was lines of cars on both sides of this little one-lane road, and all I can say is that anybody whose trim I knocked off their car on that day getting out, my apologies.
Oh shit! Oops, sorry. FCC just
Oops.
did not hear that. Oops.
I didn't hear anything.
No, I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything. It must have been background.
Must have.
Yeah. Wow, that's so funny. And then Monterey came after Woodstock or before?
Monterey was before Woodstock, so it was Monterey, Woodstock, and then Altamont. The big three, as the writers like to call them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
yeah.
is funny because there were lots of other festivals back then. Atlantic City, which we played, was right before that. Janet was at that. And there are all kinds of festivals, but in the tell, this many years later, it's like those are the big three.
Right. So you and Janice had met in that Hootenanny, and you're both coming up. You kind of met Garcia there too. I think that was Santa Clara, right? That coffee shop.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It was actually in San Jose, but Santa Clara is like the town. They share a border. And I lived in Santa Clara because I was going to school at the University of Santa Clara. But all the action was in San Jose, which was like about a half a mile away.
So you meet Jerry, you meet Janice, and you guys, nobody knows who you guys are yet. But then all of a sudden, you all made it big.
Yeah. Synchronicity.
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember last time you saw Janice?
Wow. Yeah, the last time I saw Janice before she passed was at the Landmark Hotel, which is where she died, and we were both sitting by the pool. I was probably within a month or so of her death.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Have you read any of the books or anything, or the biographies on her or anything?
I haven't done as deep a dive as I'd like to. And since I'm getting ready to go on the road again, have some time to do some uninterrupted reading, I'm probably going to catch up on a lot of stuff that's about my pals. That Landmark Hotel where we stayed up there in North Hollywood, I remember that there was because we stayed there all the time while we were working at the studio. I remember Eric Clapton had a little room down the road for me, and Ginger Baker were staying there too.
Wow.
And it's kind of funny when you think about the people we're talking about. This was not this was not a seedy hotel, but it was not an upscale hotel either. So it's kind of funny we were all there.
Right, right. Yeah, well, it's kind of funny you all met up in a coffee shop too. So it's just
Yeah, exactly.
the way things the way the dice rolled for you guys.
Yep.
Just absolutely amazing. Now, speaking of going on the road, you've got a whole bunch of tour dates coming up, starting in Pittsburgh. You'll also be in Rochester and Homer.
Right.
And then you're going to be spending the weekend in Woodstock. And
That is correct.
not Bethel Woods, people. This is not the Woodstock where the festival was. So
this is the actual Woodstock.
yes, yeah. And you've got 2 shows. Jorma, you got 3 shows in 2 days. What are you doing?
Boy, my management company is working me like a dog. No, it just worked out that way, and I guess we're going across the river. I think it's the same place where
Clearwater was.
yeah, when Pete Seeger was still alive, we did those Clearwater shows.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's great.
Which was the last time I was there.
Oh, and it's such a great park. It's right on the Hudson River, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place to see a show.
Totally.
Yeah. So you'll be in Woodstock at Bearsville Theater June 13th and 14th. There may still be a few tickets. I know there were low ticket alerts, but people check out bearsvilletheater.com. And also the Hudson River Music Festival. You'll be there during the day on the 14th, which is a Saturday. And you'll be there. Talk to us about who you're bringing on tour, your buddy John.
So, John Hurlbut and I have been friends for 40-some years.
How'd you meet?
We met. He used to own a record store in Columbus called the Record Connection, and he used to promote shows. And I was playing a show in Columbus. It's got to be in the early '80s, and I just met him, and we've been friends ever since. Anyway, to make a long story short, because he's been working with us for a number of years too, we've done a little bit of playing together over the years, but nothing serious. But during COVID, we're sitting around at the ranch, and he's doing office work that he and Vanessa did. When we were, physically shut down, but still had business that had to be taken care of. And he'd bring his guitar, and we started playing together, and started having a really good time, and actually wound up recording a couple of records at the ranch. We did our River Flows series, and we did
One More Lifetime. I'm going to actually play a track from One More Lifetime.
Oh, good. Anyway, so one of the things I loved about doing what I did with John is that I didn't have to, and I'm sure you can understand, I didn't have to be me, like I am with a show where I'm doing Jorma stuff and everything is Jorma stuff. I got a chance to do with John what I did with the Airplane, which is to be a supportive band member, and it was just so much fun. So we just wound up doing that, and we were fortunate enough to be able to, thanks to Culture Factory, put out 3 records, and then we started over the last couple of years. We started doing some shows together. We were just out in California recently, where I would do most of the evening would be me, and then the last 45 minutes, I'd call John up, and we do the Jorma Kaukonen thing, and it was just so much fun. And John is such an endearing human being, and he just always picks wonderful songs that tell great stories that we can all relate to.
I love that. So how are you guys doing this leg, this tour, the same kind of way? Going to do some?
Yeah. I'll be Jorma for most of the evening, so people that have no idea who John Hurlbut is go, well, I got to hear Jorma play, and he brought a friend with him.
Right.
And then towards the end of the show, I'll bring my friend up, and we'll do a bunch of Hurlbut Kaukonen stuff.
Yeah, no, it sounds really great. And you've got like a whole bunch of shows coming up. So, of course, jormakaukonen.com, hottuna.com, and get your tickets because they go quick, Jorma. You're selling out, you're doing stuff, and you really are all over the place. I know in September, you're going from June through July. I think it looks like you have August off. And then in September, on the 10th, you start in Seattle. You're heading out west. And, yeah, you're going all over the place. So
yep.
Yeah, no, that's really cool, though. That's really, God bless you,
It,
Yorma.
it totally, it totally is. I mean, after all these years, that a guy like me can still find a place to play with people who want to hear what I've got to say. It's awesome.
It is awesome. It is awesome. And you've got such a dedicated, loyal fan base.
God bless them.
It's just so beautiful, like, to be part of the Hot Tuna fan page. And people today, how do I get tickets? What happened? I couldn't get them. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. Like, everybody's just like rushing to get seats, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And yeah, man, beautiful, good stuff.
We've been blessed, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're a talented guy, and people want more of what you got. So yeah, and I ask you every time because I got to. Any thoughts or words, or would you say if you were working on another book?
I'm always jotting stuff down. I've been encouraged by a number of people to work on another book, but I haven't actually started to do that with a book in mind. Because once you start to do that, it's like at least a 2-year commitment.
Right.
But I'm always collecting stuff, and my mind is certainly open to it. And when I get enough scraps of paper piling up here with little anecdotes that I want to use, I'll probably actually get off my lazy butt and start to write a book.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Or even a film or some documentary or a document.
Yeah, I could see that with the right person behind the camera. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Something like that would be really cool to document. So, yeah. So, yeah. What else you got going on that you want to tell us about before I let you go?
Let me see. Wow.
How's the motorcycle? It's like, are you guys, you're still riding bikes? I know the weather out here has been really crappy as far as rain all the time.
Yeah, actually it just poured rain today. The simple answer is I'm very fortunate that I'm still in good enough health to ride. I don't take long trips anymore.
Yep.
But and I don't like to get cold anymore. It used to not bother me, but I don't like it anymore. Yeah, so I take rides every time I get a chance. And like I said, it was raining today, but I got one in the other day. I mean, I look at it this way. Every motorcycle ride that you don't get is one less you're going to have in your lifetime.
Yeah.
But, there's something else I think I ought to mention also, and that is that John and I have a podcast.
Oh, yes. Tell us.
So we've got this podcast that we film at the what we like to call the Rock House, and it's called Roads and Roads, and you can watch it on Fur Piece TV. We've got a couple of episodes already up. I think we have a new one coming out this weekend. I should have known all this kind of stuff. I should have this kind of stuff at my fingertips, but it's a lot of fun. Like a lifetime ago when John was in college at Ohio State, he got his degree in journalism, and that coupled with the fact that he's just a really nice guy. The nice guy that he is, has made him a killer interviewer. He does all his homework, so he's got great questions to ask.
Love that.
And we're such old friends that we have wonderful conversations, and it's filmed right there at our little new mini Fur Beach Ranch Rock House, and we just have a blast.
And it's nice that you guys know each other. That's what makes the level of comfort so nice. So I definitely have to check that out. So we can look at that on the Yorma.
Yeah, the link is on the Hot Tuna Facebook page.
Okay.
And I think it was just posted today.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I think I saw something on there too. So, no, that's great. We'll definitely have to check that out. And again, tour, see you live, and 85th birthday show. The Carnegie Hall show is on sale. Tickets are on sale, pre-sale, I should say. That show is happening Thanksgiving weekend, November 29th. November 1st, you're starting your 85th birthday show in D.C. December 5, San Francisco. December 13th, Denver. So you kind of covered most areas of the country there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're a lot of times the tours are either on the East Coast or the West Coast. But you're right, we're going to be all over the place with this one. So hopefully we're going to get a chance to see our friends all
Yeah.
over the whole width and length and breadth of this great country.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the family's doing well, Yorma? The kids?
Yeah, Izzy's home from college. The
Nice.
first time that I've seen her since she went to college, which is kind of cool. And my son's engaged to be married. It's all good. Life is good.
I
Life is good.
remember when I saw you at the July Jam in Accord at Larry and Teresa's. That was the day I think you were telling me that Zach was going to ask his girlfriend at that point to marry him. So I guess she said
Yeah.
yes.
But she did say yes, and if this was a video thing, I could show you. He proposed to her on the deck of a boat off the island of Crete in the Mediterranean. Very
Oh,
romantic. What a
oh,
romantic that kid is.
oh my God. How lovely. Ah, oh man, that's really
I
cool.
I proposed to Vanessa on the New York State Thruway.
While driving, or were you pulled over?
Now we were driving. I believe it was. Oh gosh Almighty. Maybe Vanessa. Well, she remembers all this stuff. I'm thinking it was mile marker 87, but I'm not sure.
Love it.
Uh,
Love it. Love it. And you're like, what, 30 something years together?
I think we got married in '88. I'd have to pull out my calculator for that, but we're closing in on 4 decades.
Amazing. That's beautiful. And still in love. And that's the trick, right? So,
Mile marker 58. I just got the word. Mile
58.
marker 58.
Man, she does remember everything. Wow.
Oh, are you kidding?
Oh,
Also, I need to get a big shout out. Mile marker 58 at 3:28 in the afternoon.
oh, man.
How about that?
Nice. But were you, yeah, that's awesome. And you were driving down the road and you're just like, oh, that's so
Actually,
sweet.
I was heading up towards Woodstock. I was driving up the road.
Right. And of course,
But yeah.
if people don't know, you actually were living here in the Hudson Valley, right in the Woodstock area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And you moved from here to Ohio, right?
We did. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just thinking. I had, I'm kind of a car guy, and I've had a lot of funny cars over the years. Back in those days, I had a '71 Cadillac Eldorado convertible,
Nice.
black,
Nice.
with a white interior. When we left, I gave it to Uncle Willie. May he rest in peace.
Oh. Hmm. Oh,
He's probably driving that caddy somewhere up there.
he absolutely is. Man, did that guy love you? Holy crap. Oh my
We
God.
loved him too. We loved him too. Speaking of love, I really need to get a big shout out for my amazing staff here. Stephanie, Ella, Ian, John, Macy, Treva. We've just got great people working with us.
Well, you guys, it just says a lot about you guys. You're great people, and that's what you attracted. So, yeah, you've got a great staff, that's for sure. So,
We really do. We
yeah,
totally do.
yeah. Yorma, I want to end with how we always end. I look at your blog, and I take out a little excerpt of something you wrote, if that's okay with you. Could I share
Absolutely.
that? All right.
Absolutely.
So this was written by Jorma Kaukonen, New Year's Eve 2024. Quote, pushing through the first quarter century of the millennium and looking back, it's been quite a ride. New Year gives a perfect dedicated pause for reflection, although I find at this point in my life tend to lean towards reflection more than I used to. Being surrounded by younger people certainly keeps me from obsessing about my own aging aches and pains. They don't care, and I thank them for that. We're all going to get where we need to go, and it's a personal journey that rarely requires sharing. What does require sharing is hope for the future. In 1964, when I was living in a simple flat on Fremont Street in Santa Clara, my old friend Paul Foster, a future merry prankster, would stop by the pad, and when I wasn't home, he would leave me little notes with witty aphorisms like, quote, keep your lamps trimmed and burning, for this old world has had it, unquote. Well, this old world has had it on a number of occasions, and yet we are still here. Some days our hold on life seems eternal, and on others it seems so tenuous we are barely hanging on. Today, at least, we are somewhere in the middle, and that may be as good as it gets. With all this and more in mind, this final day of 2024, I'm going to hop in my Jeep and visit some of my pals who don't get out as much as they used to, then later visit a friend, Kevin Morgan's New Year's gathering, and then later, if I have the strength and intestinal fortitude, I'll stop by the Union in Athens, where our daughter Izzy is playing a New Year's set with her band. So on this rainy morning, December 31, 2024, very happy New Year to you, to all you out there, with the knowledge that more will surely be revealed, unquote.
Wow, did I say that?
You did say that, and you're a wonderful writer, which always
Oh,
leaves me
great.
to ask you the question about another book because you just do it so eloquently, and your words are so simple but yet so meaningful. So, Yorma, I do hope you do a book or documentary or something else because you're that good.
Well, we're not done yet, Rita. So,
Oh,
so
no,
thanks,
of course you're
for the,
not.
thanks for the push. Thanks for the push. Yeah,
Absolutely.
we were just down at our buddy Kevin's house this morning, so that's very cool.
Oh, that is cool. That is cool. My friend, I always thank you for your time. It is the greatest gift one can give to another person. It is always one of my greatest musical honors ever to talk with you. I adore you. You are not just an unbelievable musician, you are a fine specimen of a man. I thank you. I'm so glad to know you, your music, and I look forward to seeing you in Woodstock in a few weeks. And thanks for everything, Yorma. You're the best. You really are.
Well, back at you, Rita. Bless you and keep smiling.
Absolutely. I'll see you soon. Thank you, and much love to you and Vanessa and the family.
Back at you, sister.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah. Take care. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 91.3 WVKR, independent radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Takes me a while to come down after I talk down to the amazing Jorma Kaukonen. So with that, I'm going to get off air, play some music. Jorma Kaukonen, Reno Road. This is a track called Great Change Since I've Been Gone, here on 91.3 WVKR.
I used to would do, I don't do no more. Well, things that I used to would do, I don't do no more. Things that I used to would do. Well, great day since I've been born. Lies that I used to would tell. Well, lies that I used to would tell, I don't tell no more. Lies that I used to would tell. Well, great day since I've been born. Church been built since I've been born. Great church been built since I've been born. Well, great day since I've been It's a great day since I've been born.
Operator, can you help me? Help me if you please. Help me to find the right area code and the number that I need. My rider left upon the midnight flyer, singing like a summer breeze. She might be somewhere down south, down around Baton Rouge, but I just can't remember a number I could use. Directory don't have it, Central done forgot it. Got to find a number to use. Trying to check out a number, trying to run down a line. Operator says that's privileged information and it ain't no business of mine. It's flooding down in Texas, poles are out in Utah. Got to find a private line. She might be hanging around a steel mill, working in a house of blue light, catching the getaway bus out of Portland, talking to the night. I don't know where she's going, don't care where she's been, long as she's been doing it right. I don't know where she's going, don't care where she's been, long as she's been doing it right.
Oh, yeah. 91.3 WVKR, Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Hot Tuna, the legendary album Burgers, Let Us Get Together right down here. They played that in its entirety a couple of years ago at Carnegie Hall, and just one of the best shows. Like we were talking during the interview with Jorma, that was a really fantastic show. Had to play a track off of there. We also heard, prior to Burgers, we heard One More Lifetime is the album that Jorma did with his buddy John Hurlburt, and we heard the track called Operator. The two of them are going to be on the road starting very, very soon. And we also heard another track from Reno Road, Great Change Since I've Been Gone. And that was the album that Jack had taped right when Jorma was just starting playing guitar, the fingerstyle picking. And Jack kept it, and now it's an album, and it's on vinyl, and it's really, really good. Thank you to Jorma Kaukonen, today's guest here on Local Motion, for being my guest yet again. We have him on at least twice a year. Hope to get him in the fall. And but yeah, so let me just tell you that Jorma will be here in the Hudson Valley for several shows. June 13th and 14th, he'll be in Woodstock, New York at Bearsville Theater. On June 14th, he'll be at the Hudson River Music Festival at Croton Point Park, which is where the Clearwater Festival was always held, that Pete Seeger produced. And Hot Tuna Acoustic will be here in the fall in Poughkeepsie at the Bardavon Theater, October 29th. And also just announced, Jorma's going to be celebrating his 85th birthday late fall, starting with shows on November 1st in Washington, D.C. November 29th, he'll be at Carnegie Hall. December 5th, he'll be in San Francisco. And December 13th, he'll be in Denver. Pre-sale for those tickets are on sale. Check out jormakaukonen.com and also hottuna.com, and Google stuff. You'll find it. Nowadays it's easy to find. So lots of opportunities to see the legendary Jorma Kaukonen play live. And again, he will be here in just a few weeks, and not just here. He's also going to be in Pittsburgh, in Rochester. He's going to be in where is that? I don't know where that is, but he'll be in Vermont, in Massachusetts, in New Jersey, Ohio, Washington, in Seattle, in September. So lots of opportunities to see Jorma Kaukonen, and do yourselves a favor, go out there and support live music, support these great venues that we have all over the place. It's so important to support live music and the arts now more so than ever. I am your host, Rita Ryan, and if you missed part of that interview or want to hear it again with Jorma, I think I'm recording it today, and I'm hoping to get it uploaded to the Local Motion YouTube channel, which you'll find on Local Motion on 91.3 WVKR. If you'd like to subscribe and give it a like and all of that, that's always appreciated. And we also have a Facebook page by the same name. So stay tuned for that. I know it's not the top of the hour, but it's pretty damn close. So what we do is, when we have an hour where we don't have a guest, so the show is always 2 hours. 1 hour we typically dedicate to the guest. And then the second hour we just play music from local musicians or musicians that are going to be coming to the area to play. But I do start off that second hour by paying tribute to Tony Falco from the Falcon in Marlborough. And he left us many wonderful things. One of them was a couple of cool playlists. So I have his playlist, and I take a track in order that he uploaded it, and I start off the second hour of Local Motion by doing that. So this one is a track by Ry Cooder. Let's take a listen to that right here, right now on 91.3.
temporary. The sun goes down, the sun come up. You'll have misfortune, you'll have some luck. It's all just temporary. 'Cause everything comes and goes, no telling where the winds will blow. It's all temporary. When you find yourself on top, hanging with the winners and the cream of the crop, it's all just temporary. Remember that money don't make the man, as long as you're doing everything you can. It's all just temporary. 'Cause everything comes and goes, no telling where the winds will blow. It's all temporary. Vexing in your vanity, wasting your time, seeking to find victory. Some time alone might do you some good. It's all just temporary. 'Cause everything comes and goes, no telling where the winds will blow. It's all temporary. 'Cause everything begins and ends. Don't get caught up chasing the wind. It's all temporary. It's all just temporary. It's all temporary. It's all
.91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. It is 5:01. You are tuned into Local Motion. We are broadcasting live at the beautiful campus at Vassar College, and I am your host, Rita Ryan, here most each and every Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. We just heard Buffalo Stack, the track called Temporary. And guess what? They're playing at the Falcon tonight, Buffalo Stack, that is. And always a great show. And Buffalo Stack is comprised of Andy Stack, who's from Buffalo, hence Buffalo Stack. He's an unbelievable guitar player, also plays bass equally as good in various styles, rock, soul, country, blues, and he's worked with some pretty amazing people. So Andy Stack is bringing Buffalo Stack tonight to the Falcon in Marlborough. Tickets available at liveatthefalcon.com or give them a call. And yeah, the doors are open at 5:30. Music starts at 7:30, so it's an early night. They don't sell tickets at the Falcon. They do it a little differently there. They do it by donation. So they, just go and see some live music, support the Falcon. There's some great food there, and Buffalo Stack will be there tonight. And we got this hour started with Tony Falco, a track from his playlist, which that's how I start off each and every hour where I don't have a guest, as we pay tribute to Tony. Today we heard a track from Ry Cooder off his 1972 release, Boomer's Story. We heard the track Dark End of the Street, instrumental, really beautiful track. So anyway, we'll see what next week from the playlist brings. So it's always a surprise. I just kind of, I don't know, find it and then play it. So we're going to start this little set by an artist who is playing in Woodstock on Sunday at Colony Woodstock. And let's take a listen now to Jim Keller here on 91.3 WVKR.
I sit by my window, watching the rain as it falls, the sidewalk below. The sound of thunder, a far-off train, telling me she had to go. But daylight is coming, gonna break through the sky, and I'll forget all about her, one day at a time. Oh yeah, one day at a time. Neon flashing out on the street, throwing sparks into my eyes. The sound of her voice, the look on her face as she said goodbye. But daylight is coming, gonna break through the sky, and I'll forget all about her, one day at a time. Oh yeah, one day at a time. Alright. I could have done that. 1,000 things come to my mind, but I'm just happy here in my bed with a smoke and a bottle of wine. 'Cause daylight is coming, gonna break through the sky, and I'll forget all about her, one day at a time. The daylight is coming, gonna break through the sky, and I'll forget all about her, one day at a time. Oh yeah, one day at a time, one day at a time. Oh yeah, one day at a time.
91.3 WVKR, 11 Brothers, Basics, actually, it's how it's said, but it's Bassics, of course. Get it? Huh? 11 Brothers, Tony Levin, Pete Levin, with Jeff Siegel, and another guest will be at the local in Saugerties this Saturday night. So Pete is the pianist, organist. Tony Levin is bass and cellist, and they're brothers, and they formed this band, the Levin Brothers, after decades of doing their own individual careers, playing with people like Miles Davis, Gil Evans, Jaco Pastorius, Peter Gabriel, King Crimson, and so many more. They are starting off their tour locally here in the Hudson Valley this Saturday, the 17th, at the local in Saugerties. I believe there might still be some tickets left, and you can check that out by thelocalsaugerties.com. We also heard Jim Keller, the title track from the album called Daylight. Jim Keller, musician, producer, manager, publisher, composer. He's been in the business more than 40 years. He was part of the band Tommy Two-Tone that was based in San Francisco, and everyone has heard their big single, their big hit. It was their most famous song. It was called 8675309. Remember that? 867. Anyway, I'm not going to sing. You don't want me to do that. Anyway, so Jim Keller, that's who we heard, the title track from the album Daylight. He'll be performing in Woodstock on Sunday at Colony. Tickets available at colonywoodstock.com to check out Jim Keller. Going to keep the music flowing. And the next performer will also be at the local in Saugerties. And let's take a listen to Sandy Bell. This album is called Entelechy. .3 WVKR. I messed that up, so what we're going to do is move on to the next one. Let's play music by Tony Trischka, and then we'll listen to Sandy Bell after that. Let's take a listen to this one here by Tony Trischka right here, right now on 91.3.
Spin the wheel, clear the field, let love come down. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
91.3 WVKR, Sandy Bell, the title track from the album called Entelechy. I saw her at the local, must have been about a year ago, and she's just an incredible performer. She's here from the Hudson Valley. She's a singer-songwriter. She's been compared to Kate Bush and Joanna Newsom, and yeah, she's a really wonderful performer. She'll be at the local, back at the local, on Friday, May 30th. And also opening up for her is Mike Amari, and he'll be performing some of his new solo acoustic works. Tickets available at thelocalsaugerties.com. You can check out Sandy Bell with opener Mike Amari. And we heard the legendary Tony Trischka on the album called Banjo Land, and we heard the track called Salt Creek. He's one of the most influential banjo players in the world. Tony Trischka has played with everyone in that genre, including Molly Tuttle, Billy Strings, Vince Gill. He's recorded, performed with Pete Seeger, Steve Martin, Ed Helms, John Denver, Allman Brothers, Miley Cyrus. He's a 3-time Grammy nominee, produced Steve Martin's Rare Bird Alert featuring Paul McCartney and the Chicks. He was also music director of the documentary The Banjo Project, which aired on PBS in 2011. He's performed at the Grand Ole Opry, Carnegie Hall, Kennedy Center, Madison Square Garden, and literally all over planet Earth. Tony Trischka will be at Town Crier tomorrow night to do a benefit. Yeah, it's a benefit concert, and it's going to be in honor of Pete Seeger. It's Pete Seeger Songs and Stories featuring Michael J. Miles and Tony Trischka, happening tomorrow night, May 15th at 7 p.m. It may already be sold out. I thought I may have seen that it was sold out, but just take a look, or I don't know if they have a wait list or anything, but it's going to be an extraordinary show tomorrow in Beacon at the legendary Town Crier. That's town with an E, crier.com. They're right on Main Street in Beacon, been open since 1972. Pretty amazing. We got a couple more tracks here. It's 5:21. I'm your host, Rita Ryan, and it's Wednesday, and I hope you're all doing well out there. This is my second show back. I had a 6-month hiatus starting in November, and it just came back last week, and thrilled to have Danny Melnick as my guest last week from the local and the Saratoga Jazz Festival, and today we had Jorma Kaukonen. And if you missed part of today's shows, or you want to hear the interview again with Jorma, I'll be uploading it, I hope, anyway, if it's recording correctly, I'll be uploading it tonight on my YouTube channel, which you can see find under LocalMotion on 91.3 WVKR. We've got some more music, and yeah, there it is. I think there it is. Wow. I thought I had it. Let's see. I think I had it. Yeah, there we go. So these guys are playing at the Saratoga Jazz Festival. And let's take a listen to them. You may know the group, you may not, but let's take a listen here on 91.3 WVKR to Lettuce.